Hey, this is Matt Hartman with Duke Tip, and we're here to talk with Mike Cuales about 360 video and virtual reality. So, to start us off, could you tell us who you are and what it is you do?
Sure. My name is Mike, and I'm a creative director at NC State University's Distance Education and Learning Technology Applications, which is a department at the university that specializes in the production of online course materials. So we explore a whole bunch of different technologies to help faculty come up with solutions for teaching online.
Great. And so, we're filming this with a 360 camera. Can you sort of tell us what that's like for people watching it?
Sure. So a couple years ago, we started exploring 360 video and the process of producing 360 video for education. And basically, 360 video is a simulated environment that you bring to the end user, and you play it back in a way such that the user can look all around in all directions, up, down, left, right. And that starts to approach this term virtual reality when you use something like a Google Cardboard, where you put your smartphone in the cardboard and hold it up to your head. And as you look all around, you start to become immersed in that environment. So the video that's shot basically encompasses or surrounds the inside of a sphere. So you can look in every direction.
So, when you use the Google Cardboard, as you look right, the video pans right.
Correct. So
Interesting.
it starts to simulate a real world environment, or the environment in which you and I are sitting in. So what we're shooting today, when you play that back from that perspective, you'll be able to look anywhere in this room.
Great. So, how does that work?
So probably a lot of science and math and numbers and stuff that I may or may not be familiar with, but from my vantage point, the way it works is typically you have an array of cameras. Could be as few as two cameras or two lenses, or as many as 16. I've seen a camera rig with 16 different cameras pointing in all different directions. This particular camera has six. This rig has six cameras firing in all directions, and it basically is capturing video and overlapping just enough video so that the software, which is very specialized software, has just enough information to stitch those videos together and complete an entire sphere. And that sphere, the video that's projected on the inside of a sphere, is then piped back through a computer or any kind of screen or device, allowing you to click and drag and look around.
So, that seems really cool, but why would you want to do something like that? What sort of opportunities does that open up for us?
Well, there is the cool factor, because it is pretty cool. Now, virtual reality has been around for years and years and years, and it was really big in the 70s and 80s, maybe as far back as the 60s, but I'm not entirely sure. But where I think it has an incredible potential is transporting students, in this case, to other locations and other environments, and giving them that perspective and that feeling of being there. It brings you definitely at least one step closer to what I think traditional video can do in regard to immersing you or really engaging the end user in that environment.
So, can you give us some examples of how you use this in education?
Sure. So more recently at NC State, we're working on several different courses that are experimenting with 360 video as a teaching tool. And what we're able to do for a community nutrition course, which teaches students how to engage different communities on how to shop healthy, how to prepare food safely, and how to do all that stuff on a budget. So what we did was we shot some video of different scenarios and different things that happen in the kitchen and in the classroom to help incoming students be more comfortable engaging these end user audiences. We've also applied 360 video in the exploration of landscape architecture and visualizing different designs in landscape. Probably the most exciting one, and one of our earliest projects, was looking at a prescribed fire burn. So we go out into a field, and the field is literally lit on fire to help control the underbrush and promote the growth of longleaf pine. So we wanted to show landowners how to do that safely and effectively. And so we used, again, the 360 video to immerse that student in that environment to kind of break down some of those fears or some of that confusion that might happen when you light a large piece of land on fire.
So you mentioned 360 video as a part of a sort of broader virtual reality. What other kinds of technology are available in virtual reality?
So 360 video just barely touches on virtual reality. And there's some interesting arguments that 360 video is not really virtual reality because you can't physically move around the space. But I think what is happening in the industry is so exciting because you will have fully crafted or created realistic environments which you can move around and navigate around. So it's not just giving the end user the control to look around, but you can actually explore these environments and feel like you're there. Then to go beyond that with haptic devices, which is gloves and different components that let you feel or touch things in the environment, is really incredible when you think about the training aspects of being able to manipulate objects in that space. And then it continues to evolve into augmented reality, where we're looking at a real space and then projecting images into that space and starting to interact with other people socially in different parts of the world using augmented and virtual reality. So I think we've barely scratched the surface of what's to come, but I think it's incredibly exciting for education, for training, and for just learning environments in general. The one thing that I'm probably most excited about near term is the prospect of live 360 video. So I could potentially put kids and students in other locations around the world and have them interact in real time with other people, other mentors, professionals, technology experts from all different parts of the world.
Great. So for any of our students that are watching this and really want to get their hands on something, do you have any places to recommend that they get started, aside from this video, of course?
So I'm a huge fan of Discovery Channel, and there's an awesome collection that Discovery Channel put out called Discovery VR. And the easiest place to find that is if you go to littlestar.com with no E, LITTLSTAR. There's libraries of educational content and materials out there that you can get very easy access to with nothing more than a smartphone and a Google Cardboard. And that's probably the best starting place. It's just experience what it's like and make sure it doesn't make you nauseous and see what it does for you, because this medium is so new. It's so important to kind of immerse yourself in that world and start to get ideas of what to do next from a production standpoint. Down from that, or next in line with that, I would say starting to play with some of the technology that's coming out, starting to think about if you could go anywhere in the world, or if you could see anything or capture any environment in 360, where would you go and what would you want to see? At a recent STEM Expo, I was doing some demos for, I think it was middle school, mostly middle school, elementary school kids, and we had some demos of under the water divers and huge whale sharks, and really, really cool stuff. And they got the biggest kick out of being under the water, because that's not someplace you typically get to go. And then they got to experience that from the first person and explore a shipwreck and watch dolphins dive through the water and stuff. So I think there's an incredible possibility there of where it can go. But the key is just to start playing with the medium, start playing with the content, and see what it does for you. It's not for everybody, and it doesn't replace everything. I think that's one of the most important aspects. Is what I personally would like to do is focus on small, engaging segments that inspires kids to go out and explore, to go out and dig deeper into the material. Maybe they'll read that book again on the solar system because they experienced something in virtual reality that was so incredible and so moving. It really keeps their attention and motivates them to ask questions.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mike.
All right, I appreciate it.